All right, Brent Porcio, topvelocity.net. Pretty excited. We got another awesome testimonial story today. Abdallah Salman. I've just actually getting to know you because you're a guy, you're a testimonial who took it upon yourself to do this online and do it by yourself, which is pretty cool. So, kind of walk us through this, man. Like, how did we come to this situation? Like, how did you find us? Why did you want to get into the top velocity programs?
Out of high school, I'm from Toronto, Canada. I played for the Ontario Blue Jays. I was always 6'4". I've been 6'4" for a while, but I was about 185 pounds. I didn't throw very hard. I might have sat like 74 to 76. Probably topped out high 70s. So I committed to an NAI out of high school, and freshman year in college. It didn't go well. Like, I threw slow even for the level I was at. So I decided my freshman year summer, I should bodybuild, because if mass equals gas, then I should just bodybuild, right? So no squats, just leg press, just, bicep curls and so forth. Then I got bigger and I threw even slower. Because I was just so immobile, because I never stretched. A lot of it wasn't strength. It was just high reps, low weight. It was just me gaining water weight from creatine. And
So
I threw slower.
is that video of you? Is that video of you on Instagram? Kind of a few ways down, you can see you're not throwing as hard as you are on that 94 video. Is that at that time that you're talking about? You know the video I'm talking about? It's like a little blue background, I think, and you're throwing to a catcher just straight from behind you.
Under the catcher straight from behind. Oh, I know. It's on a flat ground, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was, yeah. So that was maybe, that was actually my senior year in high school.
Okay.
And that pitch itself was probably like 65, but the camera was blurry, so it probably looks a little harder.
Yeah, it's this one. Can you see it?
Yeah. So that one, that was a flat ground. That was.
How hard were you throwing there?
The flat ground was probably low 70s, and that was in game. I'd probably sit mid 70s.
So that's kind of who you were when you went to the NAI school, right?
Yeah, really just a guy who didn't drive, just walk down the mound, just try to put it in the strike zone, even though I was trying to throw as hard as I can.
Cool. All right, well, keep going. So I guess, people can watch that video and then kind of capture who you were before you really started to kind of search for your velocity. So take us back from after you did all that working out, nothing happened.
Yeah, so I bodybuilded. Nothing really happened because, honestly, leg press was easier than squats, and I wanted the easy way out. But all of a sudden, there were some guys who were throwing weighted balls at nets, and then there were a couple guys that were so against them. And then the whole weighted ball part I didn't really enjoy. It just looked a little unnerving to me. So there were a couple guys who actually knew about top velocity, and they were so against weighted balls. And this is actually my sophomore year in college now. This is after the whole bodybuilding phase just didn't work out. So all of a sudden, the two guys who love top velocity, they were always on your YouTube, always checking your pitching analysis, your lifting, and then they were kind of explaining to me the difference. So, like, compound lifts would be better than, the leg press, right? Mass, it's better to gain strength and explosiveness rather than just size and looking good. And obviously it correlates, but I kind of took it into, I couldn't power clean at the time, so I couldn't, because my talent level in the weight room just wasn't good enough. The only squats I ever did were on the Smith machine, so I had super support. So I started squatting maybe 135 for 5 reps. None of my weight was ever heavy. And over time, I ended up actually getting to maybe 83 miles an hour just doing the basics, right? The basics that they found from the top velocity program. But I still sat maybe 78 to 79, but there were definitely improvements. So all of a sudden, my buddy Jake, he was looking to buy the top velocity program, and he goes, I don't know if it was the whole online aspect to it. And then he goes, I don't know. And then I was all in for this because, like, I saw a couple miles, and I'm like, I love it. So we went half on the program, and then he just forwarded me everything to my email, and then we started working from there. As time went on, I was able to get to 200. I mean, just under and over 200 pounds. This is April of my sophomore year, so that would be 2017, I believe, right? Yeah, awesome. April 2017. I hit 90 for the first time, and it was something I never thought I'd be able to do.
So that was what? That's this. No, this one looks like you hit 94 here.
Right. In April.
So it was before that, is what you're saying.
Yeah, this is before hitting 94.
Sweet. So you hit 90. So what was that feeling like?
90 was surreal because basically what had happened was at the time, it was actually a game going on. My school was playing another NAI, but basically how it was going to work out for the whole year, because at that point I didn't want to play the NAI anymore. So I just took it upon myself that during games, because my coach also knew I was in the transfer process. So at that point, playing time was a little bit of an issue, but I understood. So what happened was I took it upon myself because I want to stay in season as much as I can. So I took it upon myself to throw high intent off the mound. You unplugged the charger. You unplugged it. So I threw a high intent bullpen off the mound, and I just kept pushing 89, and everyone's yelling in my ear behind me because at that NAI, no one's hit 90.
No one hit 90.
So 90 is just spectacular. So everyone's yelling in my ear, and started looking at the bullpen, stopped paying attention to the game because they just wanted to know what's going on. And all of a sudden I hit 90, and I threw my glove in the air, stopped my bullpen, and we just started hugging each other, and it was a feeling I never thought I'd get. So I figured I'd show what I could.
That's pretty cool.
We ended up winning the game, and then once we started giving our own team high fives, it was congratulations to me, and I didn't even play. So it's like godly at the school that was at. But basically, during that process, I decided to make a decision. I didn't want to stay at the NAI anymore because I felt I had gained 12 miles within a majority of a year, so maybe 7 months. And I felt that was surreal enough and credible enough for me to say I'm not done. I have more to gain, and I'm left-handed. So I do want to play professional baseball. So I ended up taking it upon myself to start my transfer process from a 4-year to a 4-year. And I committed to Alcorn State University, which is in southern Mississippi. So I transferred from Michigan to Mississippi, started out in Canada. So it's been a ride.
Wow.
But now I'm in Mississippi in an NCAA Division I school. And from there, I was gearing up in the summer. So I actually got to finally power clean because while I was in Michigan, I wasn't able to be taught properly how to power clean because we didn't have anyone sufficient enough to know. But my girlfriend actually works at this facility called the Athlete Matrix in Canada. So she was actually able to, because she's actually a strength and conditioning coach. So she was actually to run over the mechanics with me. We learned how to power clean. And the power cleans might have been the roughest part. They probably gave me anxiety because, I just wanted to be so fast. And I didn't really think about the movements. I just wanted to be real quick. And I saw a live video that you had, and there were two guys learning how to power clean, and just one of them was just so fast. And I just couldn't do it that fast. So I was just thinking, I'm going to be one of those guys who just can never power clean. It got to a point where I was able to be quick, and I loved it. But if you broke it down in slow motion, the only reason I was quick is because the bar was out here. Yeah. I was using my anterior chain all around, and it was just like a bicep row almost. Yeah, There's no hip extension, no ankle extension, no extension of my knees. So when they told me I have to go back down to 135, because we were doing 5 sets by 2. So when they told me I had to go back down to 135, I was heartbroken.
Yeah, right.
But at that point, I was able to learn the movements better and get back to the weight I was. Maxing out at 285 on power cleans with mechanics that I'm proud with. So
wow, that's impressive. So how long did it take you to get to 285?
285 from 130. Because I was naturally stronger, because I was about 210 pounds at this point, it kind of came a little cleaner, especially when I was just rowing it. But when I actually started getting my hip extension through, I was able to get 225 for 2 sets, or for 2 reps, on my last set. So I was thinking, I should try to test what my max could be. So maybe because I started at the start of the summer, at the end of the summer. So I would say starting late April and ending May, June, July, ending late August. So about 4 months.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's insane. I mean, you must have been working your butt off, huh?
No, yeah, there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. There was a lot of anxiety tied along with it. But like honestly, the motivation was velocity was just going up coincidingly along with my body weight and my strength. The one thing I loved about power cleans was we tested my vertical jump, my broad jump, and my 10-yard dash. And we tested that when I had arrived to my summer break at maybe 195 pounds. And I had gained 15 pounds, getting up to 210. But my vertical was higher. My broad jump was further.
Well, what was it? So where did they go from? Give us some numbers. Everybody likes numbers.
Right. So my vertical jump started off. I'm not sure my reach was, but my vertical jump was about 37 inches at the end. It started off at 34.
Okay, so you're not in 37 inches. You're not subtracting. I mean, what do you? I mean, what is that 37 legit? Or are you not subtracting your reach? Is what you're saying?
I don't know what the little thing's called, but it's got blue, red, and white colors, and then you put it together. So basically, I walked through it, and then we saw what we touched, and then I would run, and then get a running start and start hitting the top, and I hit 11'4", which correlated to a 37-inch vertical.
Wow, 11'4", and then what was your reach? You don't know?
I'm not too sure because I didn't really pay attention to the numbers. I just wanted to know what I could hit and what that correlated to. So,
all right. Well, I would debate. So 37 is where you started because that's an insane vertical jump. Or is that where you are right now?
That's where I am right now.
Oh, well, that's insane, dude. I mean, I believe it. But so where did you start with it? Do you remember your first vertical jump height?
Yeah, so I was actually a basketball player. So I've been dunking since the 10th grade because like basketball was like my primary sport until I found out I could throw hard. But basketball was my primary sport. So I started out I want to say okay. Like I was at 32.5 or 33.
Jesus, and then you went to 37? That's
insane.
Insane.
And that's with extra 15 pounds.
I know, that's insane. We've only had one guy in here do that. So you're the second guy. That's insane.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Broad jump was, I don't think it was too impressive. I think it was 9 foot something. I can't remember the measurement. But then my 10-yard dash was 1.7.
1-1?
Just 1.7.
Oh, 1.7. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could still get quicker, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
Well, that's amazing, man. And and then to gain weight, and then all your power production goes up. So I mean, your vert goes up, your broad goes up as your weight goes up. That means your power production is exploding. And then so you've obviously proven to us that you really got into the meat and potatoes of the Top Velocity program. Like you got into the explosive development of, say, the Olympic approach. You know, you built even a good strength base. It sounds like before you went into the clean, so that helped as well too. So how did you convert all this? So you got all this crazy power that you built in this 7 months or whatever. How did you convert it? Like technically, what started happening in your throws? I saw your med throw drill, which, I mean, we don't recommend a 4-pound, but you're throwing a 4-pound. That's a 4-pound, right? 36.
Yeah, I had 37. We only recorded 36.
Well, that's the third. That's the one you recorded, right? The 36 here, huh? This is impressive. I mean, first of all, throwing a 4-pound ball is brutal. That's why I don't recommend it, because a lot of guys start just pushing the ball, and you were able to not push the ball, which makes it insane. But mechanically, it's really, really impressive. I saw them. So we see the mechanics when I went back to that original footage of you in high school. Right. I mean, big difference here. You can see how your lower half is just not engaged pretty much at all. And then when you go up to that, let's see. So if I see here, I can see literally you're barely using your lower half. I know it's a flat ground. Right. And then we go up here to the 94, which I'm assuming, has this been your best, 94?
I had a 95. I counted as a misread because I sat.
There you go. So in this 94 here, it's just so obvious how much more aggressive you are through your lower half. Would you say that was the big technical improvement?
Yeah, so translating everything in terms of my force production from my exercises to the mound was the biggest part. And then the one part that I actually did love was I was just going on your YouTube videos, checking the pitching analysis. One thing that I found was I was a very, very early rotator. So the big part about that I love about the med ball program is me trying to get triple extension, because for me, I just started throwing again. And I haven't thrown full intent off a mound since I took time off. I just took 2 months off to focus strictly in the weight room. And that med ball program was just me trying to get cleaned up because I'm going to be moving to the mound soon. But yeah, I'm excited because I've never had even like the whole 94 and when I was sitting 90s, I don't know, my mechanics were definitely better than they were when I was 70s, and they were more powerful, more force production. But yeah, that med ball video you saw, that was me right now, most recent. And right now I'm excited to see how I look on the mound, because right now I'm 224 pounds.
That's
So I
great.
started.
Well, same thing. You got to be able to, when you get out of your med ball throws, you got to be able to transition it to the baseballs and then to the mound. So, I mean, here's the thing: like you'll keep going up as long as your explosiveness goes up, your mobility improves, and
Right.
you're able to, with that base, you're able to develop better movements. So
Exactly.
we don't make gains on the mound when we make improvements in the lifts, but we can't move better, say, in the med throws and the target throws. So you've just got to make sure, in which it looks like you're moving better, but you got to make sure to the baseballs, to the mound, that you are continuing to, say, get more, triple extension, or more front leg extension, or more hip to shoulder separation, more trunk tilts. Like, so that's the only way it transfers. But I mean, insane. So, like, if you do a full like recap, like look back at what you did, like, what do you really think if you went back to who you were in high school, and we looked at you would basically say, or if you could talk to that guy, you would say, look, you need to isolate and hit these these things really hard. Like, what were the key things that really gave you that, like, what is that, 17 mile an hour increase?
Yeah.
What do you think? What was the key things?
The key things is trying to get out of your ego and trying to get out of what's easy. I always felt, because it's easier to grab blue and red balls and throw them into a fence as hard as you can and think I'm going to gain 10 miles. It's easy to think I can get on a leg press and push 1,200 pounds and my ego is going to get boosted and I'm going to gain 10 miles. It just simply doesn't work like that. It's a grind, and it takes a lot of sweat, and it takes a lot of studying too, because it takes a lot of, you got to learn. When you're on your own to power clean, I feel like it's almost impossible, if you've never done it before, to just get it perfect on the first try. You got to learn, and you got to understand that it takes time. There's complex exercises, and there's exercises that can actually cause failure. Like on a back squat, multiple times, I collapsed, and thank goodness I just had a safety bar. But it's you just putting everything you can into it. But yeah, there's no easy way out. The only way you could do it, if you don't, throw 95 out of the womb, you got to get in the weight room. You got to do what's proper, and then you got to be able to translate it on the mound through different exercises.
That's huge, man. So, I mean, you encapsulated it all. You have to, first of all, do the work, learn it, so you understand what's going on and how to get to the end result. Then you got to apply the sweat equity to build. And it's not enough just to build in a single movement, in a single throw. You've got to build, because you're trying to build an elite mover. You're trying to make yourself one of the best movers in the world, because pitching at a high velocity is one of the most sophisticated skills. So you're constantly making sure all your work is making you a better, more elite mover, all the way from the weight room to the mound, right?
For sure. Exactly.
That's huge, man. Well, how did you do that without my help?
Like I said, for me, I'm actually very bad at knowing what to do right out the gate. Like, for me, trying to squat right out the gate looked terrible. Me trying to deadlift looked just like my squat.
See, what you're saying is you knew what you wanted. You obviously knew what your squat needed to look like. You knew what your clean needed to look like. You knew what your med throw needed to look like. Yeah. So how do you think you gained that knowledge to know, wow, I suck at these things?
Initially, your YouTube videos were a lot. So I remember I saw your power clean video, and then the one part I couldn't get over was it looked like your hips just swung through. And for me, I was always just hunched over, just rowing the bar up. I just told myself I don't look like that. And then, so there were a lot of YouTube videos that I had to check. And then obviously, I would just work from there, see what I could do mechanically. Thankfully, for when I'm home, like I said, my girlfriend, she's a strength and conditioning coach. So she helped me clean up my mechanics. And then whenever I did my exercises, she would make sure that I was moving well before moving a lot.
So when guys come up to you now and hear your story, I mean, to tell you the truth, it's pretty cool, man. I don't know if you listened to the interview I did with Blake Trinan, plays for the Washington Nationals. You have a very similar story to him. You should listen to it. He came into college throwing 78 miles an hour in a little bitty school, and then he winds up working, I think, to a D1, and wound up throwing into the 90s, and then he goes into pro ball, and the guy's a 100-mile-an-hour guy from 78 in college, so 100-mile-an-hour guy, and he's a great pitcher in the big leagues. I mean, if you haven't watched Blake Trinan, you listen to his story. It's very similar to you. It should give you inspiration to keep doing what you're doing. He also talks about how the Olympic lifts were huge, and him being able to do that in college. But sure. So what do you tell guys when they come up to you and hear your story and they say, "How'd you do that? Did you get into all of it, or you just say, I mean, what do you do? What do you tell them?"
So the guys who I met here at my new school, they saw the 94 video. And they think, because it's not as unique to just hit 90 anymore, right? It's like, they think it's like, it's cool. We want to know, because they do go down my Instagram. You see a new guy coming in, and you want to like check him out, see what he's up to. And then, because you don't necessarily get 4-year transfers, right? So usually you get the JUCO transfers, you get your high school transfers, but I committed from a 4-year school, and they wanted to know why. And then the thing that I like telling them is I outgrew it, right? The same way you can outgrow a sweater, I outgrew the NAI. And they wanted to know how, and I said, well, I threw 78 there. And if I did throw 78 there, that was a good day. Like I sat 74, 76. And then they're like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, I did, actually. They go, really? And then they're like, so now all of a sudden when I'm in the weight room, I have multiple guys who try timing their workouts with me just so they can do whatever I'm doing alongside me. They're always curious, right? Then they're always asking, did you just get big? I'm like, well, if it was that easy, I'd be a lot happier. But no, there's actually a lot behind it. And then the tough part is like everyone wants to do it, but to do it, you got to be at a certain point in complexity where you can do everything right. I feel like moving well before you move a lot is a big key term, and that's just something that's hard to teach. Like there's several guys here or anywhere, right? That they can throw 93 genetically, and then their power cleans they'll finish off right here rather than even getting under a bar.
Because the difference between you and them is you're a developed 94, so you're skilled in the lifting, you're skilled in the biomechanics, and you have a mentality that they don't have. So you're a different breed than those genetic 94s, right?
Yeah, and it's quite addicting for me. I remember. If I ever had to miss a workout for whatever the reason may be, like when I was home for Christmas break just now, my girlfriend would stay away from me because I'd just be in a bad mood all.
Dude, you got the fever, man. People don't understand it. Really, you have to do it so much you become addicted to it.
No, yeah, exactly. And off days simply aren't fun. It just makes you feel like, you're just sitting there, and like obvious. And a big part of it too, I thought, was nutrition. For me, I've never gone a month in a row eating 4,000 calories, and that's what this month I did. And it was very beneficial, but insanely hard.
Yeah, nutrition is huge, and that's another big piece, because if you can eat right or eat well, we have a nutritional program, but if you can follow that and you can do this kind of, hard-ass advanced training, it is, man. It's so powerful, because now your body's going, man, you're kicking the crap out of me and you're feeding me. So, I have all the tools to get better right now.
Exactly.
Well, that's huge, man. So, I'm really excited, man. You would fit in so well down here. You're so like-minded to all of us, which is cool.
Thank you.
But it sounds like, too, man, like you're going to be a coach one day as well, because that's what people don't understand. You really have to learn it at a level of a great coach. Like, be honest. Like, you don't have to call out your coaches, but just all the coaches you've had in your life. Like, how much do you know now compared to them? You're probably at their level or above their level in player development.
Yeah, so definitely the big reason to why I left my NAI in specific was simply just because I felt there wasn't much more to learn.
Yeah.
I felt like if I'm trying to throw healthy and I'm trying to throw hard, the best way to do it is actually through studying, right? And some pitching coaches, they'll give you like minor tweaks to help you throw strikes, but honestly, if you really want to tweak your pitching mechanics, it's best off to just get a pitching analysis at Top Velocity. So there's a lot of studying those, and I just felt like my most credible thing to do on the mound would be studying. For me, I'm an early rotator, so I want to sit back, get triple extension. And obviously, there's not many that would actually tell me that.
Exactly.
And they would recognize rotating. They might recognize, if a ball's high or low and see what to release. But in terms of your lower body and your kinetic chain, it's hard to find.
Well, look, man, now you're one of us. I mean, with this testimonial, so we want to get you into pro ball. So
appreciate it.
Stay connected. I'm here as your advisor now. So if you need anything, I'm serious, man. If you start to struggle, I want you to reach out to me, and
Thank you.
When you're ready, just keep doing what you're doing on Instagram. Keep, film a 37-inch vertical jump. You got to do that.
Right.
Film it and get something that shows the measurement. Film like any of your elite movements. I don't care what it is. It's good in your training. And then obviously film some great games, film some great velos, and keep collecting that. And then when you're ready to go into the draft, we'll take all that and we'll do a cool, really awesome like profile video for you, and we'll put that out there because we've done that for our guys, and there's a lot of scouts that follow us, and you'll get a lot of recognition. So man, we want to help you get into pro ball. So.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm definitely excited to see where the velo is at now. I've never been 225. Last time I threw, I was 210. So I'm
here's
excited.
The thing, man. Here's the thing. We go up and down. Like sometimes you'll make moves and you're like, that didn't work as well for me. Or sometimes you're like, wow, that really worked. So just see how it works. You got to play it out, and then you got to understand it. So if for some reason you don't like where your velo is this year, send me your videos. We'll look at it and we'll understand what's changed. If not, if it comes out great, still film it and make it a benchmark. So if,
for sure.
A lot of the big leaguers that have come in here that are like, hey, I'm not who I used to be, we go back to all that footage of who they used to be, and we try to put that back. So make sure you document a lot of what you're doing so hey, I'm not where I used to be. I would rather maybe be where I was a couple months ago. You'll be able to put a lot of that back because you understand those benchmarks of where you were.
For sure.
Sweet, dude. I'm excited, man. I really appreciate you doing this, and
Thank you.
I think a lot of great things are going to come out of all this, man. I mean, you sharing this testimony with us is obviously awesome for us, but it's awesome for you because it's going to give you a lot of exposure. People are going to start paying attention to you. So,
thank you so much. I can't appreciate it more.
All right, man. Well, hold on. I'm going to end this interview.